and say, don't think I'm good enough to be with you or do that. So I guess if you show the example of God, like, and treat with respect, to me, what I'm talking about, it seems like I have a spiritual force or defense that, if you follow in God's way, I think it's not scary, because I think if you treat everyone with respect, I mean, just the basic. Because I guess if you have a lot of attention, I know Mr. Cortez said the paparazzi or different things. I guess if you get caught up with that, where you get your ways and everybody's bowing down to you, I guess it could go to a different level where you lose that sense of respect, because you can have anyone that you want, almost what you say, people will give it to you. So I think that spirit get caught up, as opposed to treating everyone nice and with respect. Um, I think that goes a long way.
Cortez, what do you feel? Do you feel it's a scary time for a single man? Now, you've been married for a long time, since Jesus was a baby, but yet and still, you're not out of the loop in terms of what it's like. So tell me, would you feel? I know you don't have a son, but if you had sons, would you feel you'd have to really pre-warn them because it's a dangerous time, or no?
Most definitely. But also being a married man, it's the most scariest time in the world for men, period. Because here's the smallest things is considered an accusation now. And see, and the slightest thing come from rejection. When a man rejects a woman, automatically she can go back and make up any story. It's gotten to a point that that's how easy it's become. We've seen all these setups where women have said the most slightest things. Man, you compliments now are offensive to women. Uh, Being chivalry is offensive. If you don't open the door, they get the hollering, and you can't respond, because if you respond, everybody in that surrounding area is gonna go to the defense of the woman. So it's really all the wonderful things that men were taught to do for women. We didn't back down. It didn't got to a point where, as much as I'm in an arena, I don't even embrace women. I don't even say nothing to women. I say how you doing and keep it on that upper level. I don't compliment. I don't talk about no shoes. I don't care about no wigs. None of that. Even when I hug, you see my hands. When I hug like this, because I don't want a woman to feel my hands and say I touch her inappropriately. Because it's to that point now that it's listen. It's hard out here for dudes.
Very good, very good. Oak, are you with us?
I'm with you guys. I don't know what's
Okay,
going on with my
Oak.
camera.
I did
Oh, there
not
we
know you
go.
were showing
There,
up.
there we go.
Um,
What's going on, man?
it's good to see you, Oak.
Always.
I was letting everybody know we have an ex pimp in the house, Oak Summers. It's
Ex
good to see
pimp.
him
That's
as well.
crazy. That
We'll,
is
we'll get
crazy.
to you in a moment in our topic in terms of that. Now, Tiffany, how is it for you as a woman? Because now men, based upon what Cortez just said, men are afraid to even be men. They can't talk that talk. They can't flirt with you. They can't do anything. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you a quick story and then I'll get your response. There was a young lady who put a posting out on Facebook and said, "You ladies, you finally got what you wanted." She went out with her girlfriends, looked all pretty and everything. Not one guy hit on her because all the guys were afraid they didn't want to catch a case. So they said they left all the women alone. She was so upset. They were looking all cute, dialed up. So she said, "Ladies, you finally got what you wanted. You always making excuses saying guys are bothering you and all this. You finally got what you want." How does that feel for you, Tiffany?
Well, I want to say that I it is hard out here for men, because just hearing that, it's so bad that you can't even hug somebody without even thinking, like, how is this going to affect me? That's super horrible. For me, it's so hard to say, because I do a character on the podcast. I kind of, it's kind of me exploiting myself. So with what I do, I expect comments and things being said to me when people take it seriously, when they take it so seriously. I'm used to it at this point. But it, you know, as a woman, I go out and I mean, I don't know. I feel like people are so nice. There's this line between being nice and just being weird, you know? But most of the time, people are respectful and nice to me. Most of the people that I've met in the industry, especially men, have been respectful and nice. So it's so hard to be like, um, it's just hard to to I don't want to offend any women
No, I
listening,
get you. We're very
but
good. I get what you're saying. Now, let me pull Oak in this conversation because Oak, we're talking about initially with Trevor Bauer, how he lost his baseball career because of a woman accusing him of sexual assault and domestic violence. And it turns out she was lying the whole time and scheming on him. And now she's being accused of extortion, fraud, and so many other things. So the question was, now, what is the ratio, would you say, when you see it on television about a woman accusing a star celebrity for rape or sexual assault? What is the percentage you believe is truth, and what percentage you believe is a lie?
I think 10% is true, 90% is a lie. Because I believe in penis regret. I've been with girls who didn't count me in real time. Like when they say they body count how many men been with, I don't count like in real time. So I understand penis regret. I understand like yo, I smashed the wrong dude. I didn't have a baby, so I had to count him. So I don't have to put him on my rouster. And on the flip side, if there's an opportunity that she thinks he has a life that she can partake in, that she could do that. I got a quick question because I was kind of working with my audio. What's your name, love?
Her name is Tiffany. She's from Bake and Bake Podcast.
Tiffany Dorsey?
huh?
Tiffany Dorsey?
And Tiffany Dorsey. No.
I'm about to say, it looked like my little play sister. I'm like, damn, what happened to Tiff? I was just thinking about her. You look just like Tiffany Dorsey. I'm like, damn, she's still alive. Shout out to her. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
man, like Tiff was cool though. That was my homegirl. She gave me my first lesbian girlfriend. She handed it off. But anyway,
You need prayer. You need prayer, Oak. I'm telling you, we're gonna understand it eventually.
I do not need prayer, man. Nothing wrong with me. It's something wrong with them. Look, man. Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
If you go to Wendy's and you dine in and they give you a cup, because you know they had the fountain drinks, they give you a cup. Would you just get a half a cup of drink, or would you get as many cups to quench your thirst?
Fellas, what did you say, Cortez?
Oh, it depends. It depends. Depends on the amount of serving that I consume.
Right, to
What
quench your
about you,
thirst.
Taj?
Could you repeat it again? Because I kind of got half of
If
it. I didn't get the whole
if
thing.
you went to a fountain drink, right? You got a cup.
Mhm.
There's a fountain drink. Would you just get a half a cup, or would you get enough drink, go back enough times to quench your thirst while you're eating whatever your meal is?
Yeah, going back and forth till I quench my thirst.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I do. I don't need prayer. I'm quenching my thirst. If there's an opportunity for you to get what you desire, and then you get what you desire, and you're satisfied, that's a good meal. I don't need prayer for having a good meal. I had sustenance. Shout out to them.
So now, my thing is this, and we're going to move on from this topic in one moment. But how can a man protect himself? You know, in all honesty, there used to be a time where you could do a one night stand and both were satisfied that night. You never saw her again, she never saw you again, and that was it. But there's no such thing as those now because now something can come up 30 and 40 years later and you can barely remember what you did 30 minutes later. So, how can a man protect himself from such a thing?
You, you
Oh,
you can't really protect yourself, but you can give deterrence, right? Like I don't expect girls to accuse me of anything, not sexual assault, not child support, not anything, because they know that I will point to a hole in the backyard and be like, yo, you'll be in that hole pushing up daisies. I don't have no problem with that. So the deterrent is, I don't even want to play with him. I think he's nuts. I'm not nuts. I have enough sense to know you're nuts and you'll try to mess up my life. So you won't have a life if you try to mess up mine, or we can do this amicably, right? But that's me. Most men are very good men to women. They're very egalitarian. They're very, very fair. They're very wholesome. They believe that because we did something together, we were in this together. And because of that, no good deed goes unpunished. I'm not a good deed. I'm good for the guys. Like, I love my guys. I understand that you're gonna play fair because you understand penalty. Women don't have penalty, so I provide penalty to women, so I don't worry about that. I'm like, look, shorty, we gonna do this, and I'll kill you later, or we can do this, and you just forget I existed. But either way, just remember that you were on the phone with me for 4 days, sending me pics in my text messages because you wanted to do this. Just remember that part, and then we can go from here.
So now, what are your thoughts, Cortez, on how a man can protect himself?
Well, the one thing I've learned over the years is the power of no. Listen, no, no. I'm always looking on the other side of my decisions, and before they even exist, do I really want to stress that? It ain't. Do I really want to deal with that? And some things just not worth it. You know, the power of no. Because here's the thing: in the environment that we in, we realize that, and it's no attack on women or at all, but these women out here thirsty. They're looking for the next meal ticket. You know, some down the way, they've been conditioned through social media, all these outlets saying, go for the bag. And if the bag come through child support, essay, um, getting pregnant by somebody with money, that's the whole goal now, is to get that bag. And it's sad that that's the only option that our women think. But however, the funny part about all this is that we were taught coming up, and maybe our young sister can attest to this, that we were coming up being told that girls are smarter than boys. But look at all the decisions the girls are making now to put themselves in this predicament to ruin a man's life. But, and I'm going to leave on this one. Proverbs 31:3 says, and this is to the fellas. He said, give not thy strength to women because they destroy kings.
That's what King Lemuel's mom said to him.
Right. Talk about it, doctor.
In Proverbs 31, she surely said that. It's a great point. Great point. So what are your thoughts on it, Tiffany? You know, we always talk about how women should be able to protect themselves when they go out on a date, but now it seems like men are the ones that's in danger in terms of that. But are you around, or do you have friends, or were you raised around that mindset to get that bag, or how were you raised?
I was raised by a single mother with 11 children. My mom worked through everything she went through to provide for her kids, right? So I definitely didn't grow up with the mindset that other people did. Granted, I do hear a lot of things like that, and I think it kind of dumbfounds me to hear women when it's not necessarily like, oh, let's work and get, but like using a man in order to get that. Because when you think about it, first you get what you ask for and you get what you wish for, so you better be careful with what that is. Secondly, it's kind of like lowering yourself so far down just for something that you could easily do for yourself if you really put your mind to it, right? So it's sad. It's sad that there is a whole society out there where it's based off of, okay, I'm gonna make money based off of, like, you know, lying about things like SA, or, you know, I've heard stories about women lying about being on birth control just to get pregnant by somebody, and or, you know, finding ways to get pregnant by somebody famous. So it's just like, it's insane to think that's an actual thing, and it is sad.
You know, and I'll get your comment and we'll go to commercial break, Taj. But we've gotten to the point now that we hear it at least once a week where someone comes out and say, this celebrity, basketball player, baseball player, whatever, did this to me and all that. And everybody quickly believes the woman automatically, and then all of a sudden, we look at it. But do you not know that when you become a multimillionaire as a man, you don't need to rape anybody? The women come out of the trees, they come out of the woodworks, they find you. As a matter of fact, they are more in tune to you than you are to them. You're just trying to keep it going, and they're going to find you. As a matter of fact, we have it now set, some of these NBA ball players, where once you get that money, when you're on television and they find out that you just signed a 4-year, $225 million deal, that is the best day and the worst day of your life at the same time. You can't lie about your money anymore. You can't lie about what you don't have. And now everybody is greasing their chops up because they know you got money and they're scheming for that. And when you get to traveling, these are true stories. When you get to traveling around, especially as a ball player, you have women that plan their meeting you based upon their ovulation period, their time, and then they pay these hotel people to give them access to your room before you get there. So as soon as you get there, there's a beautiful woman waiting in your room, and that's the greatest temptation. So this is real. This is real. These guys aren't even thinking about these ladies to this degree, but you have women chasing them city to city just to get them to sleep with them. All right, Taj, we're going to take you, and then we'll get to a quick commercial break.
Well, it's kind of interesting, and I thank God the situation because I'm not. I'm supposed to be rich, but I'm not. But I think the key is just being nice, because even in today's society, I've noticed everybody's not happy. Especially when it comes to women, even like the customer service and things. And it's easy just to listen to some, because I'm caught up if someone's a lady's attractive, but then she start you can hear there's certain things that you could pick up, at least I've noticed, of what type of condition they are or some bad. It's either I have the choice if I want to deal with that or not. Because it says, happy is he who trusts in the Lord. So if I'm happy, I want things to be around happy. But I'm in situations where, even just recently, where, especially with other cultures, I'm somewhere and then the lady will come, rub on my chest, feel on me, and I'm looking like, whoa, wait a minute. But I guess if it's the other way around, it's like the men is supposed to enjoy that, but it's still, two sides to the story. But I think the key is being the perfect gentleman and being happy. I think can diffuse, in my opinion, can diffuse a lot. And it's up to you as the individual if you're happy with what it is, because the mindset to me is, if I go out with a female, I would want her to at least be happy, or at least she's supposed to compliment me. If there's any time where there's confusion or there's argument, or even if it's playing, because you know how they say that you can have that tough love, or they sometimes say women do a certain way because they like you. After a while, if it's not in your spirit where it's supposed to compliment, it's just catch it and let it go.
Very good, very good. Well, before we go to commercial break, any rebuttal from Taj's comments, Tiffany?
No, I think that, yeah, remaining true to being yourself and respectful can diffuse a lot of things, because people are they're gonna, it's I wouldn't say it's easy, but I mean it's easier to diffuse that when you know who you are and you're remaining that, and people can see, okay, this is
But
it.
the interesting thing though about it is that, Tiffany, it's hard enough finding a good man when things are going well. In other words, if without all these allegations and all these men being worried about dating women and not knowing if they're going to catch a case and all this nonsense, it's still tough for a woman to find a good man, because there's not that many good men out there. So my question is, why are the ladies making it harder on themselves when men can't be men? It makes it more difficult for them to find a good man.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the question, right? I feel like it's more I don't know if it's like a newer generation thing, where it's like so much as kind of like it kind of seems like we wanted to go somewhere with telling men like they matter and all these things, right, as a society, and it kind of went south with all these allegations and stuff. And some women, their stories are valid, they're true, some are not, and those have kind of watered down and have even made it worse. So it's hard as a woman, as a mother, I have a son too who I have to raise into this world. So it's hard to hear like everyone's opinion, and heard that that's how it's looked at. It's like you're walking on eggshells just by living, and that's so unfair to hear.
Very good, very good. But we're going to take a quick
So,
commercial break.
Mr. Sherrod, I have a quick question. I know you said the question, but this was Burton I wanted to say. So, in that particular case, when you just mentioned about the baseball player or something, okay, so now since they found out the truth, or the truth is slowly coming out, are the media or the people that kind of like destroyed them, are they going to have forgiveness in their heart and start building them back up where now he could try back out and give them what was lost because of a lie, but now they found out it's the truth? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, very good. I understand what you're saying, Taj. Well, there is more being unveiled in this story because of with the extortion. She also lied and said she was pregnant. He gave her 10,000. Said she went to Planned Parenthood. Turn around, all that was a lie. So this is an African American young lady, so it's looking worse on Black women because of that. But no team has reached out to him to try and get him back on the team. So his career is tanked so far because of that, and that's off allegation. So very good question, but there's still more to be seen in terms of that. But the thing is this, in today's society, Oak, and it's sad, a woman can say you did all this and all that to her. You can go to prison for 10 years. She can knock on the judge's door and say she lied and made it up. They let you out, and then nothing happens to her. What's with that, Oak?
I don't think enough men dig the hole in the backyard. I've been through that. Like, no, I've been through that. I've been through a situation where I got accused of rape. Right? I went on the run for like 2.5 years living under the alias because of that. And the crazy thing is, Shorty lived in my apartment when I moved to Atlanta. I'm helping her pay my rent, and then she got her own place and all type of shit, and I still helped her. We was getting money. The thing about women in general, Black women in particular, is they don't know what a good man is. Right? So the only way they can recognize a good man is another woman's man. Right? So I was in a situation where the girl decided she was mad at me. She tried to sleep with my friend and my first cousin. My first cousin, my mama's brother's son. Like crazy. And then tried to turn my friend and my cousin against me and be like, yo, he's snatching the coochie. And I'm like, this bitch live with me. I pay the bills around this bitch. You the cheating ass betrayal nigga. You the Fredo Corleone. And it wasn't even the dudes really. It was all the women that was like, oh my God, it must be true because, because oh, you don't give a fuck about these hoes, which I don't, but I don't go out here snatching shit. And
Oak, we're on a Christian radio show, you know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't go out here snatching stuff. And then what happened, good catch. And then what happened was I ended up on the move because people wanted to believe a woman's feelings were hurt because she was trying to mess with somebody's first cousin. Then my feelings being hurt that my first cousin betrayed me because we live in a gynocentric culture where people believe women, and women, all they do is lie. If they got clothes on and they talk and they lying. So I understand the premise. The flip side is what that taught me is take out him and take out her. I'm not going to take out him and she going to breathe. No, she going too. Because if this was have you noticed?
We're going north. We're going south pretty bad.
Man. I ain't going south, man. I'm trying to give a God love. Look, have you ever noticed that women never catch a RICO case? So she can set up that her boyfriend fights her brother or her dad fights her husband and nothing happens to her, but one of the guys are dead and others in jail, and she just out here just roaming free. She never catch a RICO.
Let me ask you now, Tiffany, have you ever caught a RICO case?
No, I have not.
Okay, well, Oak is 100% right now. Well, Oak, we got to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we got to switch gears and talk about what's trending in the news as well. P. Diddy. Every day it seems like there's a new allegation about something P. Diddy did or did not do or with whom and etc. Now, do you believe P. Diddy or do you believe it's another case of bringing the Black man down? I'm Sherrod. We'll answer that once we come back right after this.
Recording stopped.
Everybody good?
Okay, perfect. Yep.
Yes.
Great.
I didn't know, Oak, you dug that many holes.
It happens. It happens, right?
You know what though?
Sometimes our mind needs to explain, it needs to go in a circle to explain everything to a full circle.
You know what's so crazy, right? Because I really did think this was my little play sister. You look just like my play sister Tiffany, right? Just like
I love that.
I haven't seen her in 15 years though, right? Because ironically enough, she got mad at me and I couldn't remember why. So my friends and my little cousins was just sharing stories of some of the things I did, and she was in some of the things I did, and it was like, "Yo, you remember when she got on your nerves and you told her to go to McDonald's and get three double cheeseburgers, and then you just pulled off on her ass like, yo, bro, you just left her stranded. She ain't had no money and nothing." Like I'm like, wow, I didn't remember that, but apparently I'm toxic, right? So me being toxic is what makes me attractive to black women, though, right? So I'm cool with that, but I was gonna apologize if you was my little sister. Like, you know what? My niggas been calling me like, yo, you was doing your little sis bad as shit. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. I was gonna take you out for tacos and everything, but you ain't my little sister. Yeah.
All right, on
Now,
that
see,
note,
not Mr. Sprout. Now, that perfect example, Mr. Oak said that he left her when she had no money. Now, that would be a reason for her to lie on him. See, those are the things where I was trying to say that if he would have just been the perfect gentleman, paid for her, and then leave her on that one, that's on good terms, right?
uh,
I think.
let me ask you a
Mm-mm.
question, Taj.
Mm.
Was Joseph a perfect gentleman to Potiphar's wife? And didn't she still accuse him of rape in spite of him being a perfect gentleman and even running from the scene, fleeing from her when she tried to force herself on him? Just a question.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's
Oh,
true
so
too.
so I've seen in the news where guys they didn't even know the girl, and but they didn't get a chance to interact with her, and they caught a case.
What about the lie detector? So where does the lie detector come in at? Isn't that something that you can request, like the DNA, the lie detector too? I mean, does that come into play?
It should, but a lot of times, guys, reputations are destroyed once it's proven. Even though it's proven that they didn't do it, their reputation is still destroyed and they're brought through the mud. Like I say, Taj, if you have an entourage and someone in your entourage rapes a woman or something, they're looking at Taj. They're saying Taj did it, not the cameraman in your entourage, but Taj. So you have to deal with the burden of proving that it was your cameraman and not you because your name is so big. Think about that. Okay, all right, let's go back in because we gotta cover this and get the moving. We're going in on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Recording in progress.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sherrard Show. I'm your host, Sherrard, having a wonderful conversation with some very intelligent, beautiful Black people about the subject of Mr. Trevor Bauer. And we really appreciate your comments. We will take your questions momentarily, audience. Now we're going to switch gears to the most popular topic of the last 30 days, Mr. P. Diddy in the news. First, initially, for settling with Cassie and hearing about some of the horrible things that happened along the way with Cassie and bringing up so many allegations of him being homosexual and bisexual and raping men and so many other things. And most people have piled on from coming out of the woodwork saying it's true, from Gene Deal to Justin Bieber to so many other people. But now the question is, do you believe is P. Diddy doing this, or is it people trying to just bring another Black man down? Let's start off with you, Cortez. What are your thoughts on all the things you've been hearing about P. Diddy? What is your opinion?
Listen, I'm gonna say this from a perspective that I hope makes sense. Everybody got skeletons in their closets. Unfortunately, I just think this is it's easy when it comes to Black men because Black men don't have that supporting cast when it comes to when Black men been getting accused from years and years. You never see nobody really rally. get behind. You never seen a group. You never seen a community. I mean, we see it done with these young cats who unfortunately dying in the streets. Always gonna have the marches, da da da, for all that. But when it come to us, historically, we really never had no group. We had it in, we can almost say the 50s and 60s, you know, with the MLKs and Marcus Garvey, all them cats. But currently, it's easy. I mean, we seen in the last several years, man, it's so easy. But it's amazing. I said this today. It's amazing how we see one white dude that this country afraid to put in jail for the same SA allegations, the same sexual stuff, but for some strange reason, we don't see the Me Too movement. We don't see all the women who voted for him, but we see them marching against him. And everything that's done in the dark gonna come to light. And unfortunately, some of the stuff he may have encountered is just coming to light. But then again, you got to think on the other side of it. Everybody, come on now. Everybody know what party they was going to. So I don't want to hear, you know, if that's his lifestyle, if that's what he had to do to get where he had to get, there were willing participants, both male and female, who decided to go in whatever room, house to participate with that. But when the fame, money, or some cut off, now all of a sudden, because again, I just don't think there's just one man. So that's my 37 cents on that.
Very good. What about you, Tiffany? What are your thoughts when you see it on the news, and when you first saw it on the news? Your mind went to the favor of P. Diddy, they lying on him, or I've heard things and I believe what they're saying?
I feel like my mind went to the kind of what he was saying about, and also what I forgot which gentleman said it earlier, that, you know, sometimes women wake up with regret. I
That's
feel like,
the ex-pimp said that. Oh,
Wow.
yeah,
I wish
I
oh my God. That's crazy.
I feel like I feel like I feel like a lot of people they did things that they're regretting, and instead of just living with that or staying quiet, they're hopping on to things that are being said now, and they're going, you know what, me too. But it's not, I don't think it's all of them. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not taking away from anybody who it actually happened to, but I don't believe that every single person that is coming out is telling the truth.
very
I
good.
think that sometimes there's a bagwagon with these things where people just hop on that and they're just like, "Oh, me too, me too," and I just don't think it's everyone.
Mm-hmm. Very good. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm a I used to be a Puff Daddy fan, right? I loved how he moved. I loved how he promoted. Like, I like Puff. I do. However, it's been 30 years, bro. 30 years of accusations. I kind of believe him at this point. Right? I saw the drink champs when Fabulous and Jada were afraid to talk about P. Diddy going to a party. I have been there when countless bad boy artists, the males especially, found religion or committed suicide because of the bad boy thing. Like, I have seen people live with regret dealing with Puffy. Like, it's not just Cassidy. I don't care about Cassidy. I think she's a volunteer. I don't think she's a victim. But I think that the history of Puffy is like, whoa. So I believe it. I didn't believe Bill Cosby. I didn't believe R. Kelly. I didn't believe a lot of people, but I believe this Puffy. I believe Puff. But yeah.
Very good. What about you, Tosh?
Well, as I start seeing them more, and to piggyback on what Mr. Cortez was saying, it says all have sinned to come short of the glory of God. Even the tabloids, all the gossip and stuff, everybody has done something. But in this particular case, what gets me now, because I've seen some of the cameo appearances that they started showing, like over Nick Leone and different things that Puffy was appearing, and it was in like sexual in nature and certain things. And I was like, wow, you know something on that. But what's sticking with me is it's probably a lot of people. The numbers are big. I think that's what it is. Because in Hollywood, and it's going to be a shift. Guys got to get. It's going to get the strangle. So that's what the spiritual battle going. Getting rid of a lot of those to open up. But I think he probably it's probably a lot of numbers. I think that's what the scary part is. It's a lot of it's high numbers in my opinion on that. And what's bad is to have the bodyguards and the ones that do that to just tell it all and stuff like that. It just defeats the whole purpose or something like that. But it's just come. I just think it's time, and I think part of what you were saying too is probably bring down, because I remember seeing the video when it was like the billionaires and he was like trying to head a movement. They, meaning other cultures, don't want to see blacks come together, number one, and create a movement. So I think that plays a certain part in it as well. But
Let
I'm
me ask
just
you a
afraid
question.
that it's the biggest numbers.
Let me ask you a question. Hugh Hefner was doing it for many, 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 many years. Okay. Hugh Hefner never was there one allegations in his 84 years of life of him sexually harassing, raping anyone and all that. But he had underage girls in his mansion that he was prostituting to all these men, women and everything.
Mr. Sherrod, what
Politicians.
color was Hugh Hefner?
Okay, this is my point, but there's even deeper than that. But the thing is that my point is that we go after people who we don't like. We protect the ones we do like, and it seems like the ones we don't like is always black people. Now, just follow me what I'm saying. The reason why, and this is fact, the reason why no one ever came after Hugh Hefner is because he kept a log book of all the names that came to the Playboy Mansion, and he had cameras everywhere. So if you ever thought you were going to go against him, he had real receipts. Now, let's look at R. Kelly, because I think someone mentioned R. Kelly for a minute. Um, when you look at R. Kelly, look at the people who was enablers. The mothers were purposely sending their daughters to R. Kelly underage, telling them to make sure you bend over in front of him, make sure you wear this tight outfit, make sure you do all these things. Why aren't the parents in prison?
That's
Why
a
aren't
good
they in
question,
jail?
because I don't think he purposely, and that's a good point, because I think in my opinion the illiteracy part of it. If I think a lot of celebrities came and defended them themselves, and reversed their power and questioned it themselves in the public eye, it will raise awareness. Because you're absolutely right. A parent should be held accountable if they drop their kid off at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning somewhere, knowing something. There's got to be some accountability. Because even when the documentary, the first thing that came to my mind, Sharon, and to everyone, they told that some of the women said they was involved. So how, if a crime is a crime, they're on TV saying what they did do, and they didn't get prosecuted? It's something that should have been question. And then I think it had to come from the celebrities to question it in the public setting. And I think that's where the downfall, because of them quick to go to lawyers as opposed to trying to bring some questions. Hey, why is there parents bringing them here? Why they're not being charged too, or something like that? Because if they would have saw that, it would have been some pushback, and then it will open up and say, "Hey, wait a minute, you know what? The government is double standards or something like that." So I think it's ways because they didn't know how to, I guess, articulate or quick to get a lawyer as opposed to speaking their mind. Because what's the worst case scenario is what? Guilty anyway, right? But you might as well go down saying it in your own words. And I think he tried it when he went to the Gale, but I think it was kind of too late or something like that. But I think even with Puff Daddy, they shouldn't be quick to go to lawyers. Stand up like a man and answer it, and give a different side so people can see both sides of the story.
All right, very good. Let me ask you a question. We're going to run it down everyone real quick. Then we'll move on. Tiffany, do you feel that R. Kelly should be in jail, in prison right now? Yes and just yes or no?
uh, yes.
Okay. Cortez, do you feel R. Kelly should be in prison? Yes or no?
No.
Uh, do you feel R. Kelly should be in prison? Yes or no?
No.
Taj,
Um,
yes or no?
overall, no, no.
Okay. So very good. Now let me just ask you, Tiffany, why do you feel he should be in prison?
I mean, I feel like not only he should be in prison, but hearing that parents were involved too, they should also be in prison. I think that eventually, sometimes it just comes down to the principle of things, and you know, like I said, sometimes it's not as black as white. It's hard to explain when you feel
No,
so many different ways.
now
But
Tiffany, that Trump has committed more atrocities than R. Kelly has,
mm-hmm,
and he's still able to run for president.
I
Figure this.
know.
He's committed more atrocities for a long period. Okay. Anyway, now let's move on really quick to our final topic in this, and then we'll let you all off as well. Now, Oak, let's start off with you. Now, when it comes down to what we're seeing in the news, for example, with P. Diddy, and if you had a daughter, Oak, and she wanted to get in the industry, what would you encourage it, discourage it, or kick her out if she ever want to even think about doing that?
Um, I wouldn't encourage it, but I would not discourage it. Um, I believe that at some personal opinion, you can call it misogynist, you can call it what you want to call it. I believe that women should maximize their beauty before they turn 28. So if my daughter was tall enough and she understood how to brand things, I would want her to be in modeling. I would want her to be the girl who held a transmission filter and be like, come to Menards or Murray's or Advanced Auto to get your parts. I don't want my daughter to be an IG model and to sell sex, but I would like, oh, I don't care. Sell Checkers burgers. I don't care. I think for me personally, um, I don't, cause I'm pro R. Kelly, and I don't even like R. Kelly. I'm from Chicago. I met R. Kelly. I know how R. Kelly was hanging out in front of Kenwood High School. I used to see R. Kelly every Saturday in front of Rock and Roll McDonald's. I know R. Kelly. We used to play basketball together. I know R. Kelly. I don't like him personally. It doesn't mean I think he should be locked up, right? And when I look at it from that aspect, in the totality, right? From us watching Robotech and it was teaching us how to be statutory rapists. When I look at all of the shows we watched, that was like Who's the Boss and Three's Company and Too Close for Comfort. They was trying to teach us how to be gay, but we just didn't see it. Like I understand the societal pressures that people were under, things that were comfortable in 1990 to 2010 that have become criminalized after 2010 that were cool like a year before. I get that. I'm not mad about that. But if it was my daughter, I would just want my daughter to be able to talk to me so I can tell her if it's real or not and then be able to pursue her passion. And that's all I really got to say about that, right?
Very good. What about you? You have daughters, Cortez Macaroni, and if they want to get into, they see their dads in the film, and they want to maybe get into modeling and stuff like that. What would be your response to that?
Well, my daughters were in my first PSAs 10 years ago. So I gave them the opportunity to see what it, looked like. My daughter's done some extra on some of these TV shows, and it's okay. But you know what? If I can tie my response to what Brother Taj was saying, uh, parents should be the first protectors of children. But unfortunately, we've always lived in a society where parents actually pimp their children. And a lot of parents, unfortunately, who have no life, they try to live their life through their children. And they will pimp them to the fullest. Gary Coleman was a prime example. Look at all the children on Disney who have been sacrificed or committed suicide. We can go with the Jacksons, Michael Jackson. Them they were they. However, look at Michael Jackson versus the other Jacksons. The pressure is unfortunately that parents try to use their children as meal tickets. I've encouraged my daughters to find your passion and we'll help you guide you in that direction. But to be in the entertainment, as a daughter who's, an adult, she can make that choice. But at the same time, I still have to protect that. There are a lot of things I don't know that she may get involved in, but the best thing I can do is question and even pray. But overall, overall, if there was gifts, because there's gifts, and my daughters decided, like Brother Oak said, fulfill their passions, not what I want them to have. And see, and we fail to realize we're putting a lot of pressure on children instead of allow them to be children. And that's where we mess them up at. All them parents who push them to R. Kelly and to there's a documentary about the boy we just talked about with the penthouse, the Playboy.
Hugh Hefner.
All them are coming out now. How they were mistreated as teen girls. But I'm protecting my girls, not pimping them.
Very good. Amen. No offense. He's not trying to offend you, Oak. Okay, move on,
No, I
Ty.
ain't feel offended. He gave me a shout out. I ain't tripping on that.
No, I'm just saying, we talk about pimp stuff. He's not really
No, I'm tripping on you because you keep telling people I'm a pimp. I'm not a pimp, bro.
ex-pimp.
I'm a no. I was never. Look, I was recruited by the pimps on the west side of Chicago. That's true. I was recruited because I was a young dude. I had a 6-pack at the time. My mouthpiece was wild. Like they was like, "Yo, be a pimp." But I'm a hustler before anything. So they was like, "You want to be a pimp?" I was like, "Yo, I'd still be smashing these girls, bro."
I got footage of you on the corner pimping. So
No, I never got high of my own supply. I told them I couldn't be a pimp because I smashed the chicks. That was my addiction. I don't smoke weed. I don't do crack. That was my
We got
addiction.
receipts.
That's
we got some
crazy.
receipts.
Hey, you know what? Hold on, pause. Tiffany, I apologize. Yo, let me tell you something, bro. I appreciate you. Cause these motherfuckers on YouTube be swearing to God I ain't get no pussy. Cause they only used to incels. I'm
But
like, bro, I was a hoe for a long time.
Mhm.
And I appreciate. I just got off the phone with Mona Lisa, the one that was shy off Flavor of Love. For those who remember Shy when Flavor Flav said she had bad breath and kicked off the show. Like I just got off the phone with Shy from Flavor of Love. Like that's my homie. We doing a marketing campaign together. I'm trying to. Like she was.
You're responsible for us losing sponsors with that language, huh?
That is, I replaced the sponsorship. You want to know show organic sponsorship, bro?
We're gonna do a prayer video for you, leading the way, Taj. We're gonna do a prayer video.
I got you. I'm gonna replace it with a no show organic sponsorship, man. I got you. You my dude. You my dude. I got you.
Help us. But really quick now, Taj, let's get your response, and then we'll get to the questions, and we'll finish up.
Okay. Well, to piggyback on what Mr. Cortez was saying, and Sharon, I know you was doing, but let's not badger the entertainment. It's a wonderful thing, and there's a lot of good people behind the scenes. Let's not get that twisted or wrong. But it's supposed to be fun and enjoyable, and the key is the parents to a certain age, whether it's 18 or 21, they should be responsible for their children's actions. And some of the agencies that's out here that's been in existence for years have that pretty much, I mean, look at how many things has been produced over the years, many years in television and entertainment. So even though it's getting kind of shaky, but it's been a lot of good things happen, over the years. But I think the good ones, like even if you went into acting more, you would know type of roles that you're gonna get right up front. Certain things you would know it's like if you choose to or not. But the parents, they try to keep them involved to a certain point. I guess like you have to be careful too. Like you had mentioned, sometimes people can use other people's names, right? That don't even know. the person directly, but you wouldn't know that because it's easy to say, well, I know R. Kelly, I could get you here, get you there. And he probably don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So, but, barring those type of actions and stuff like that, it's still some good, things in the industry as a whole.
Well, no, that's an interesting point. But Taj, at what level now? If at a lower level of things, it can be wonderful. But many times when you get to the multi-millions and you get to the here in Hollywood where you're way up there, that's a whole different game. You're reading about, or you're hearing about the John Snyder story, all of the from Nickelodeon and all of the stars that he made their careers at the expense of sleeping with minors. All this is coming out right now. You need to definitely check it out. And these are parents who left their minor children with this grown man and with the promise that they were going to become a star, but they did at what cost? And this is something that's a topic for a different day. But we're low on time, so we got to get to our questions for the audience. Audience have questions for you all, and then we will wrap it up. This question is for Tiffany. This is from Anderson Wilson. He's actually from Macon, Georgia. He says, great, Sherrod, to have a beautiful young lady on the show for this panel discussion. His question is, Oak was mentioning about most women don't know what a good man is. Do you know what a good man is what their question is, Tiffany.
Well, I don't
You
date.
know,
I don't date men.
I've met some great men. I will say that and that's very a blessing, I guess, in the industry from what I'm now learning and seeing and hearing that. But to me, a good man is, somebody who they, they're them even when people aren't looking, right? Because there's this that they remain themselves even when people aren't looking. They remain with dignity and honor and respectful and stuff. And, I think that's what a good man is because,
Right. He's asking another question. Did you marry this good man?
Did I marry a good man? I will say that I am very blessed to have an experience like I've had with my marriage. So
very good.
Let's say that.
Okay, very good. I appreciate you, Anderson. Appreciate your response, Tiffany. This question is for you, Oak. This is from Rachel. She is from Indianapolis, Indiana. She said, I watch when Oak is on the show. I love when he's on the show. But her question is, do you still not like women? Oak.
I love women. However, I don't think women come in black. Look, here's the thing. My personal opinion only owns to me. When I listen to women talk about what makes them a great woman, it's always a masculine trait. It's always like, I'm strong. I got courage. I got perseverance. I'm like, damn, you want to play football with me? I never hear anybody say, you know what? I'm nurturing. I bring peace. I know how to fry chicken and shut the fuck up and go get the hot rag. Never. So I can only go by how you see yourself. If you see yourself as a woman, I love you. If you see yourself as a black, yeah, because black women tend to be masculine. It's almost like being in a transgender relationship. But I appreciate you liking me when I come on the show. Everybody love me being a guest appearance. I don't know why. But
well, she was saying you bring the ratings down. But anyway, so
that's crazy.
But
I rebuke you.
Her second question is, do you ever see yourself getting married?
Now that I understand how gender works, yeah, I do.
Very good. I appreciate that. Appreciate your response. This one is for you, Taj. This is from Marquita. She's all the way in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She said, every time you're on Sherrod's show, you're talking about how well you're doing, and it's great. But her question is, have you finally got a girlfriend? She wants to know, Taj, do you finally got a girlfriend? Taj, it doesn't take you that long.
Taj laughing, bro. Taj, hey, y'all calling me the pimp? That's Taj, bro. Like,
well, we know yeah, he's the pimping preacher.
Yeah, preachers, you know what's right. You know, I told you I said pimping ain't easy now. Remember,
well, you make it look easy. So, Taj, she's waiting. What's the answer?
So the young lady from Michigan, she's available. Is that what she's trying to say?
You know, that's a pimp when he's deflecting. Wait, she just want to know yes and no.
No, not currently. No.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. So her next question is, what's the reason?
Well, I'm pursuing some dreams and some goals and aspirations, and with my non-for-profit Totally Positive Productions affecting the youth, and we're impacting. That's taking a lot. And I think what's important to me is having that peace. Cortez would know what does God say? He said he will give you peace that passes all understanding. And I have that peace on that, and I'm pursuing some things, and I'm impacting in the mission that God has for me. So if the right woman comes along, then I would be embraced, because it's not something that's going to make me have a headache, and it's supposed to be fun and exciting. So I haven't embraced that opportunity yet.
Very good, very good. We appreciate that, Pippin Preacher. Okay, so this question is for you, Mac Cortez. Mac, this is from Madeline. This is from Madeline. She's out from Rhode Island. She said she watches your Facebook posting where you have a lot of fun with marriage. Her question is your marriage as fun as you claim on Facebook?
Wow.
That's a beautiful question. And the answer is yes. We just hosted a married couple game night this past Saturday. We played games and had married couples over, had food. We played old school Nintendo. We had fun. We do bowling, we do trips. We do a lot of marriage fellowships, and we been blessed to encourage churches to get back into having marriage fellowships within their churches. So yeah, we fun, and one of the reasons why we fun because I make sure the fun is there.
Very good, very good. Well, we're out of time. I want to thank you all so much for being on the show. Give everybody where they can reach out to you and follow you for new fans of the 6 million people watching. Hopefully one day we can get to all of the questions. We'll start off with you, Tiffany.
Well, you guys can find me at baking_baked_podcast on Instagram, Baking Baked on Spotify and TikTok and other streaming platforms available.
Very good. Her podcast always make you want to eat now. Think about food every time you hear her podcast. Very good. Doing good things. What about you, Taj Pippin Preacher?
www.totallypositiveproductions.com, or on the hashtags or the tags at Totally Positive on all the social media platforms.
Very good. And what about you, Macaroni?
Cortez Mac Facebook. That's all I got.
His marriage posts, they're absolutely hilarious and spot on. I love them. And what about you,
Cortez? Get your life right. Dirty folks on YouTube, Instagram, Rumble, Locals. I'm just dirty folks. Sub to Dirty Folks Podcast, bro. Dirty Folks Podcast on iTunes and Spotify and some other shit. I don't know what I do.
Very good. Well, we're gonna have to work hard to replace these sponsors we lost having Oak on the show.
That's crazy. Y'all gonna quit blaming me. Y'all sound like baby boomers. Yo, Tiffany, you look like my sister and you got the same name. If you need some help, holla at me. I do publishing. Holla at me. I got you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll connect.
Yeah, holla at me. Holla at me. You remind me of my little sister. You look like her, bro. You look just like her. I thought you was her. I was like, oh shit, she didn't die from diabetes. I thought, Anyway. Yeah,
Lord help us. Lord help us. Well, that's the show for tonight. We might not be on air anymore after this, but if we are on there on the episode, or we are on air next week, join us for the whole cast of Cobra Kai being on the Sherrod Show. We're so excited to have them on, and then also some very special guests that are coming up. You don't want to miss it. Keep it locked on Pure Essence Television, Airy TV. And then always remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to soar with the Eagles, stop hanging around turkeys. See you next time. Bye-bye now.
Take it easy.
Recording stop.